of September 16th. Tonight we have sewer and water and a citizen's petition on the agenda. Jim, do you have any opening comments, or should we get right into it?
Acting Superintendent Gustafson is here, and I believe he'll be able to address any questions you may have relating to sewer and water articles.
Okay, let's start with,
Commissioner Hassenegger here also.
okay, let's start with Article 10, the water capital proposals.
Sorry, you might just asking the folks at home to just give a thumbs up for the hearing.
Oh, sorry, actually, I gotta do a roll call because we got remote, sorry. Hold on one moment.
Hi.
Okay,
I
those
can hear
here,
Mark
Josette,
and I can.
Ally,
Yes, here.
you muted?
Can't hear her.
Oh, can't hear Ally?
She's not.
Yeah, can you hear us?
And
I can hear Ally.
we can't hear Andrew either.
Okay.
Sure.
The commissioner. Hear us.
They can hear us, we can't hear them.
Here we go.
That's what happened on the first one, right?
We'll run through the rest of the attendance while they're getting that fixed up. Okay, let's see, Jeff?
Yep.
And Jean,
Yes?
and Mark,
Yes.
Larry, myself. Okay, Ally?
Here.
Can't hear you, Ally. No.
Yeah, I am unmuted on my.
I can hear you too. We can all hear each other, it seems, but they can't hear us.
Still can't hear us?
Testing, testing.
Yep. Andrew?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, now we can hear Andrew, yes. All right, so we got Andrew, Ally,
I am here.
yay. All right, Steve,
Yes.
and Kathleen,
It's Yom Kippur.
I'm here.
Tomorrow's not here.
Doug. Doug? Oh,
Must be muted.
you're muted?
Yeah, we can't hear you, Doug, even on the Zoom.
Okay. Oh, he's working from his phone, okay.
Oh,
Lisa?
I'm here.
Okay. Susan's gonna be late, and Denny said he would probably miss the meeting tonight, so let's move on to Article 10.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. So Article 10 is proposed to be funded through water retained earnings and includes 4 requests. First request is a Phase 2 SCADA upgrade. Second request is meter system components. Third request being a compressor for the Harold E. Willis Water Treatment Plant. And the last request under that article will be for a vehicle replacement.
On the meter system replacement, that's a series of replacements to update all the meters at the homes?
It's an ongoing program. This complements the one in the sewer article. This will fund approximately 1,000 meters
Okay,
and 400 through the sewer. That'll comprise about 10% of the metering system. And it'll be an ongoing project.
I remember it from last year. Okay, alrighty. Actually, I got one other question on the vehicle replacement. How big is the fleet that's being used by sewer and water? Is it like 2-3 vehicles and just rotating every couple of years, replacing them?
It's much larger than that. I don't have an actual vehicle count.
Okay,
I know this particular vehicle is aged. It has 85,000 miles on it. The mileage is not so much the consideration as its condition.
okay,
It's rotted away and it will not make the next vehicle inspection. It will not pass.
okay. Questions, Larry?
On the meters while you're on it, where are you at in the cycle of it? Are you halfway done, 2/3 done, 10?
No, this will be the first 10%. It'll be an ongoing project.
Okay.
Right now, the Board of Sewer and Water Commissioners is considering whether to keep the current fixed network system and continue to replace that system, or whether it's time to go with a newer fixed system. That's not been determined yet. So whichever direction they decide to go, that money will go towards that.
And can you just help me understand phase two of the SCADA upgrade? Phase one, is there a phase three? And
There was a phase one, this proposal is phase two. Phase three, that's something that will have to be determined at the completion of phase two. It'll have to be assessed to see what is required at that time after this upgrade. That's why it's also to be determined what that cost will be, because we don't know what's gonna encompass yet.
what actually is being upgraded?
The Scada system is actually a system that controls the water treatment plants, the pumping stations. It's industrial automation. It controls the filter plant, the chemical feed dosing from the pumps, turns pumps on and off, water tank levels, alarming, when something goes wrong, it shuts the plant down, notifies an operator. It allows you to control the system. This particular system is 23 years old. The components that it's made up of are aging. They still do what they were designed to do originally. The problem is that they're no longer manufactured. So as components fail, the supply that's out there is all that's out there and it's drying up. And eventually, as we make repairs, you're gonna reach the point where there are no parts to repair it.
What's the balance of the water, the account that's being taken out of?
What is the,
What's the balance of
retained
the
earnings?
water resource?
oh, certainly.
Approximately.
Water retained earnings are certified at 2.785 million.
So after this will be about 1.8 approximately?
This will be 550,000, yes, you know, yeah, that's correct.
Thank you.
Other questions on Article 10? None at home, none here? Okay, at that point, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion
Yes.
for favorable action on Article 10.
Okay, motion by Larry for favorable action.
Second.
Seconded by Jeff. Okay. All in favor, Josette,
Yes.
Ally,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Doug.
Yes.
Okay, we got him. Mark,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
and myself. 1300. Okay, Article 11, Sewer Department Capital.
Okay, so Article 11, we funded through sewer retained earnings. It includes 3 requests. First being the Edward J. Delaney Water Treatment Facility sludge system. The second, meter system components, that's the complement to the water system request. And the third and last, the Morningside Drive sewer pump station rehabilitation.
Questions? No? There being.
Oh,
no-
I have one
Oh,
question. I'm sorry.
okay, yes, go ahead.
What's the balance of the sewer retained earnings? approximately?
Sewer retained earnings are currently certified at 1.955 million,
So this will take it down to about a million
Yeah.
approximately.
yes.
Does it recycle? In other words, a year from now, it'll be back up to 1.9 million or whatever, typically?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes down to rate setting and usage. It's all
Got it.
formula, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question. With the water and sewer budgets, can they be mixed or do they have to remain separate?
They are separate, but there's overlaps, such as the meters here. The meters are essential for accurately getting excuse me. They're essential for accurately metering the water, which is how the sewer and the water bills are generated.
But can you take money from the sewer budget and use it to cover something underwater? So you can't intermix them? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on Article 11? There being none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for favorable action on Article 11.
Okay. Favored by Larry. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Jean?
Go ahead.
Okay. All in favor? Josette?
Yes.
Ally?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Larry?
Yes.
And myself. 13-0-0. Okay. Article 12, Water Department borrowing.
So Article 12 will be funded through water borrowing, and this is a water main replacement project. It's to replace the unlined cast iron water mains in the system. Roughly 40% of the system right now is comprised of cast iron line pipe. The problem is, as it ages, it increases the risk of failure. There are also water quality conditions as the piping deteriorates, and these pipes only been in service for 70 years. So it's really a matter of replacing it before something happens, and also the water quality as well.
Is this gonna cover all the existing, or is it gonna be a
No.
phased?
No, this would be about 1% of the water system. Ideally, if funding was not an issue, you'd be doing 2%. 2% would allow us to completely exchange the system over every 50 years and be the most reliable, but it's not always practical because of monetary concerns.
Okay, but I mean, of the unlined, is this
Oh.
gonna conquer all the unlined?
No.
Or we still got more to
No,
go?
this will be an ongoing project.
Okay, all right. And what section of town or mains are we looking at in this portion?
We're looking at June Street, Rhodes Ave, Pilgrim Way. Pilgrim Way, by the way, is an issue with water quality. We've experienced an uptick in complaints from that street. South Street from Washington to Oak, Peach Street, and Walnut Street.
Okay.
And we're focusing primarily on the smaller mains because as the pipeline size increases, the sidewall of the pipe, the thickness of the pipe increases, and there's less risk of failure.
Okay. Yes,
You
Larry?
mentioned you're at about a 40%, so this will take it to 41, 42, whatever.
Well, to go the other way.
Oh.
40% of the system
Needs to be
is
done, I get
currently
it. Okay.
unlined, and that's what we want to get rid of.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, and borrowing, how long? 10-year, 20-year? I mean, this is, you said the has a life of 60, 70 years. So how long do you borrow for typically?
I believe
I think we did 20 an hour.
20? And what's the long-term money for you folks these days? What's the rates these
The
days?
rates on
for
our
long-term?
20-year.
Right now, I think they're just above 1%, between
The last one we got was 1.06, but that was back in, is that March?
That's March, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Other questions on Article 12?
Mark, I have a quick question or comment.
Go ahead, Ally.
Okay, I was just gonna note that I am a resident on Pilgrim Way, and we have had yellow water for about 5 months on our street with constant flushing. So I greatly support the initiative to continue to replace these lines all over town.
All right. Jeff?
So the plan is to do this on an annual basis, all borrowing?
I don't know if it's gonna be all, more than likely will be all borrowing, but it isn't gonna be an ongoing problem. This is not something we can just really start and stop.
Town administrator sent out a spreadsheet, and last time we did this was 2017.
There is the potential of infrastructure monies from the federal and state government being siphoned down. We want to have plans ready, so if infrastructure funds are available, we can go after them. We have
If,
a plan in place.
okay, are you all set, Jeff? Okay. When the project of expanding Route 1A goes into place, is there unlined pipe under that that could be addressed at the same time, or would we have to tear up the expanded Route 1A to put in pipe later?
No, we definitely do not wanna rip up a newly laid road.
Okay. But I mean, are there sections of that that are unlined that would need to be addressed, or is that already accounted for and clean?
That's accounted for.
Okay.
I think we are doing something with the sewer line though, right, Rick? Yeah, because that's, once that's done, it's done. In fact, you should look into, I was surprised, I learned that, or I heard that the former town administrator, Mr. Boynton, made an agreement with Norfolk County for Walpole to accept that road once it's finished. I was surprised at that. I didn't know a town meeting ever voted on it.
Would you elaborate on that,
Which
please?
road?
You weren't clear.
Is that 1A?
1A.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I was looking up your question, Jeff. Yes, unfortunately, prior to me, the agreement was, we get included on the tip. The town will own the road once the project's complete, from Conrad's to the Norwood line, so we'll be responsible for plowing that and maintaining it going forward.
Did the town meeting vote on that at all?
No, it was part of the tip agreement. Town meeting doesn't need to vote on it because it's already a publicly accepted road. So, and just hopping back to Jeff's question here, so the cast iron replacement we did we borrowed it on 4/2017. So I'd have to think we went back and probably initially, it was probably the fall 2016, I would guess off the top of my head. And then we've done 2 more since then. We did the water infrastructure. We borrowed that in 5/15/19. We did another water infrastructure on 5/15/19, one for $2 million, one for $1.6 million. And both of those were for 20-year borrowing. So we would look to keep it consistent. So when we started this back in 16, the plan was to basically go to town meeting each year and get an appropriation or an address, when Rick was the superintendent at the time, to address the outdated water lines, that were, the water mains that were there. We did the one over near, going out towards McMorran.
The last one we did was Baker Street.
Baker Street, yeah. Oh,
Larry?
Is 2.8 like all in 1 year, or is that like a couple of years of doing the replacements?
Be a 1-year project.
A 1-year and does it coordinate with the street program? You know, you have a program where, you know, the roads are redone, you know, I can't think of the system, but you have a system.
That's a good point, Larry. One of the things that happens sometimes when a town will hire a consultant, the consultants tend to come up with the most expensive ways to do things as recommendations. And it's a burden if we pave streets and then we come later to try to put utilities in them and tear up virtually new or you know, not virgin, but you know, 2 or 3 year old streets. So it is important to coordinate the paving program and the development program with both sewer and water, essentially. And in fact, I think Bill Abbott and I have just decided to undertake an investigation to determine if we can indeed run lines in the margins of the road layout. Basically, most of the roads have 12, 14 feet on either side, one side for a sidewalk. Because the expense of running utility lines in that fashion would be, could be 4 times less expensive to run the utilities off and not tear the roads up. So if we can get to a place like that with a policy, we can probably do a lot more if we're able to, because the cost metrics will be quite different.
And I'm sorry, so do we correlate it at all, or is it not something that's coordinated of sorts between the roads and the sewer work or whatever, the piping?
Yes, it's coordinated with the pavement management program
Okay, great.
and also the Eversource gas.
Got it. Thank you.
Denny, Lucy, and Susan.
Actually, I was just corrected on our counts. We only have 12 people in attendance, so our votes are 12-0-0 tonight. Thank you. Any questions on 12 at this point? Are we all set? I'll entertain a motion for Article 12.
So moved.
Favorable action?
Favorable action.
Alrighty. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Jean. Okay. All in favor of Article 12, Josette,
Yes.
Ally,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes. Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Doug,
Yeah.
Mark,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes, yes.
and myself, 12-0-0. Okay. Article 13 was withdrawn?
So there's no longer an Article 13, everything gets bumped down.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is a citizen's petition to have the Board of Selectmen petition the State House for an additional liquor license for wine and malt package stores. Jim, do you want to give us any background on that before we have the petitioner come up?
No, just, I did provide this with somebody here who was the owner of the East Walpole market store. And that's really about it, just more or less the history. Just so you understand, this was brought up back in the spring of 2013. Susan made the motion, Suffer the third, substituted it, and it did not pass, so just some back call there. So if you have any questions, or we'll just hand it off.
Well, actually, in your comments, though, it says it was based on the most recent census, so is that based on the census numbers that were just released, that we are still limited to 10, 5, and 5?
We're going under the old, Liz hasn't certified it. We think it's gonna be 26,000 and change, but that isn't a set number yet, so we're just
Okay.
going off the old numbers. So,
Okay, so the state hasn't realigned based on the census yet?
no, and
Okay.
There'll be some movement with the precincts and everything, just a little bit here and there, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but that hasn't been finalized yet.
Okay. What was my other comment? The petition is to just gain the town an additional license. The petitioner still has to go through the process of applying for that.
For the East Walpole area, so
Yeah.
anyone in East Walpole could go for it there.
So even though they're petitioning for it, somebody else could get their application in and.
First come, first served.
Got it. Thank you very much. If the petitioners want to come up and answer any questions from the committee? Do we have questions first? Yeah, Larry, if you can join us at the mic, please? Yep, at the center table for the microphone? Thank you.
Do the
Good evening, yeah.
You got it.
Do the other liquor stores support this? You know, the other town-wide businesses?
We don't know.
They don't know. Okay. Does the EDC endorse this?
Again, this is a citizen's petition, Larry, so it's on the petitioner to go around and make the rounds. I'll obviously make the EDC aware of it. They just signed the warrant this week, so.
Okay. Have there been any violations of town inspections or town laws at the property by the current owner?
Not to my knowledge, recently. I know in the past there was some issues. I know there was a recent fire there also, so.
No.
There was, not recently, but there was some major past issues. I won't get into it, but there were some major issues. And I live in East Walpole, so I know.
Can I say something, please?
Sure.
First of all, good evening, everybody. My name is Eli Nachul. I am the owner of East Walpole Market. I've been there 10 years now. In the 10 years, only somebody sold cigarette by mistake. This is the only thing happened in 10 years. Stores do it every year. In 10 years, this is the only thing happens. The thing that Mr. Larry talking about. This is the only thing. The only one thing happened in the whole 10 years I've been in the store.
Under your management?
Yes.
Never anything else. Never any problem. Never any problem with anybody. I am there 7 days a week, and everybody in Walpole, they know me. They tell me, you don't go home. I am there 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock, 7 days a week to make sure everything is going the right way. And You can ask everybody in East Walpole, every resident, they all love me. If you, you know, like, I was asking like for signatures, you know, half Walpole, they offered to come with me today. I said, no, I'm fine, thank you. You know, I get hundreds of signatures. All the businesses in East Walpole, they all sign for me. Every single business in East Walpole, they sign for me. Every resident, you know, because I serve them the best service I can do. And you can ask everybody in East Walpole or in Walpole if anybody say anything wrong about me or about my kids. You know, as we've been in the store 10 years, and as I said, never any problem. Only one little thing happened. This is 10 years ago when we first started, somebody sold cigarettes. And this is the only problem ever. You know, as I said, stores, it happens to gas stations all the time. You know, it's not like, I mean, you know, happening all the time. It's only one time in the whole 10 years. And, you know, and as you guys know, before me used to be Edmund Market. Edmund was there forever. And Edmund used to sell beer and wine, you know. And Jimmy sell beer and wine. And Cross the Street used to be beer and wine package store too. So now what we're trying to do, you know, I just want to like trying to do convenient for the neighborhood. Like somebody need 6 packs of beer, they don't need to travel to like to Norwood or to Route 1 or looking for. I'm not gonna do anything crazy. We're a small convenience store. We're just trying to make something convenient for the neighborhood, you know. And this is what all my customers are asking for.
Okay, actually, Larry, then Mark.
I believe someone was, and correct me if I'm wrong, selling pipes or something out of
Never,
that?
never anything. The only thing happened in the store, only one time. This is about like, I've been there 10 years. I think it's like 9.5 years ago. Sold cigarette, or somebody else was working there. And this is the only thing happened ever. Never any other problem. You can ask everybody in Walpole if anybody they can say anything about me.
Thank you.
Okay. Mark, then Kathleen?
I just have a couple of general questions. With petitioning for the license, we're basically asking them to give, and it's specific for East Walpole? Is that correct?
I'm sorry.
So you couldn't take this license and, so I guess I'm wondering, who controls the license? If he's awarded a license and then he sells or goes or whatever with the business, when he sells, does the license?
It's back to the town.
It goes back to the town, so you can't pass it on to,
You could sell it to someone if there's a demand for it. Just, I'm thinking for the Walpole wine, the big one at the Walpole Mall. Wines, was that Wines and More?
Wines and More,
That
yeah.
one was sold to them for a considerable amount of money. So if there's a market for it, he could always sell it. But if he doesn't sell it, it goes back to the town.
okay.
But now, if the buying party still has to be approved by the town?
Yes, they'd still have to
So they
come
still
in.
have to come through and get approval?
And then, so it wasn't passed in 2013, what was the reason that it wasn't passed?
I couldn't speak to that. I actually don't even, I had to look it up. I didn't recall it, but it wasn't. I gave you guys the information there. It's in your packet
Yeah.
if you didn't have it.
Okay. And what's the likelihood of the court approving it? I mean, is there a history where they allow extra
I would
license?
say it's likely. It's happened before with some of the special licenses that I've identified here. There are extra ones. So I'm specifically thinking up, there's one identified here for 555 Providence Highway. That was special legislation. The Central Business District, that was special legislation for the Route 1 corridor there, so.
And then my
it's happened
last
before.
question is, so these licenses are separate from a restaurant license?
Yes, this is like, I'm sorry, just like a
Sell
package,
alcohol.
it's a package license, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I want to say something, please, sorry to interrupt. I don't, like, a couple of months ago in June, early in the morning, at 3 o'clock in the morning, we have a small cooler, Pepsi cooler machine start a fire. This is 3 o'clock in the morning, so we went there, you know, and it did a lot of damage. You know, we closed the store for like 3 weeks, and the store is like 2 sides. One side used to be the convenience store, and one side used to be a coffee shop. We opened them up long time ago, since about like when we was a business. So the fire happened in the store side. We finished remodeling now, but the first 3 weeks, we finished the coffee shop side because the damage was not really bad. We opened in 3 weeks, and in 3 weeks we back to business, and thank God everything like back to normal now. And so we have the inside side where the store is. This is where we're trying to, if you get the license, to make it like a small beer and wine packages store, and will be like nobody like. We check everybody's IDs as we do now with cigarettes, with lottery, with cigarette lottery, everything. And same thing with what is really helpful too. It can be like a small room inside, so no kids will go there. Nobody like we see like underage will let them go there, you know. And plus we cannot check everybody's IDs, even like kid or not kid, you know, as we do with cigarettes. Like I have customers like. They look like 50 or 60 years old, and I check. Customers tell me, oh, I was here yesterday. I say, you know, it's the law. I need to check your ID again. Customer feel happy. The customer next to him feel safe too, for their kids, for everybody, you know. This is me. And you can ask everybody in Walpole, they know me, you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Actually, before I go to Kathleen, I just want to kind of remind everybody, we're not seeking a liquor license for this particular establishment. We're basically determining, is there a need for another license for, you know, beer and malt spirits in East Walpole? So it's not specifically for this person. He's just looking to see, basically promote that there's a need for one in East Walpole. He may or may not get it. If it gets approved, it goes to the Board of Selectmen to actually issue it, and he'll have to go through the entire approval process along with anybody else who seeks to get that license. Okay, Kathleen?
Thank you, Mark. And I appreciate that comment. I'm wondering if, through you, can someone explain to me if we've ever isolated or been specific about our licenses in the past, that they could only be a certain part of town?
Yes,
Yes.
we have, Kathleen.
And the reasoning behind that is just because that's what the petitioners have asked for?
This was submitted by a petition, so well, the town wasn't involved in it.
Yeah, I guess that's it for now.
Okay.
Could I just speak? Larry asked some questions, and Patrick fortunately pulled it up. So back in February 2016, I think, Larry, this might be what you're talking about. You're actually referenced in this article. Select Board voted down a request to transfer package store malt license from Double D's Deli at the time to the East Walpole Market. The concern was the recent underage sale of tobacco to people, and I see Robin was quoted here that, you know, let's have this business build up some trust and make sure that they can live up to the regulations that are in place there now. I'm not aware of any violations since this issue in 2016 there. And I think, Larry, you had alluded to pipes and some paraphernalia. In this article, Chief Carmichael's quoted that the paraphernalia was sold around 14 to 15 years ago, and so that was 2016, so 14 to 15 years prior to that. So,
Okay.
is that what you were?
It was sold around 14 and 15. It wasn't that long ago, in my recollection.
Yeah, I'm just going off of this. So.
I understand.
Okay. All right, I got Andrew, Josette, and then Ally.
Hi, everyone. I have a few substantive points to make and a question to ask, but first I just want to make a process point, which is that I would hope in the future when we have a petitioner, we hear from the petitioner first, let them make their case. And even if it's just gently asking questions, let's be very specific about what issues we're raising. So Jim Johnson, thank you for being specific about the alleged incident that Larry brought up before us. So I think when we get to it, it's pipes, which, by the way, you can buy in 3 or 4 of the vape shops in town. So in the year 2021, I know that's not what this petitioner seeks to sell, but it's fine to sell anyway. So just as a process point, before I get into the substance, let's just have the petitioners, but there's actually going to be a ballot question, potentially, if they get enough signatures on the 2022 state ballot to repeal this prohibition era law. And so, yes, we have to do a home rule petition to Beacon Hill because licenses are currently tracked by the size of the town. Well, let's look at the census numbers. 2010, Walpole, 24,070 people. The latest 2020 numbers, 25,324 people. That's growth of 5.2%. So think about that. More than 1,000 people grew in that decade in this town. And currently we have 10 liquor licenses set by this arbitrary prohibition era law. That's about 1 liquor license for every 1.5 thousand people in Walpole. And we grew 1,000. So there's a chance that if this 2022 ballot question does not pass, and I personally hope it does pass, but should it not, there's a potential that even with the 2020 numbers, our number of liquor license stays at 10. It doesn't go up to 11. So I say, let's just call the legislature's bluff, do what Somerville, what Woburn, what several towns have already done throughout the Commonwealth, and let's do a home rule petition. I support this fully. So that's all my substantive points. My question is this, for Jim Johnson, the difference between licenses, it says all alcoholic beverages and wine and malt beverages. We're allocated 10 total, 5 each, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so which one would this be, or is it to be determined?
This would fall, and so my understanding, it's a wine and malt request, so it would fall into the, that category.
Thank you, I'm done.
Josette?
You appear to have a business and you have an awful lot of support. So in good standing, you seem to be a good businessman within that area. My comment goes to Jim. I vaguely remember years back dealing with liquor license. It did go by the population, but they were trying to get, at that time, multiple licenses that if you were going to go through the process, instead of just going for 1, you would go for 2. Ask for 2 and let them decide whether or not you'd get the 2 or if you'd get the 1. This was under Michael.
Yeah, I don't recall that, but this one would just be the only one he'd be eligible to go for, and I just looked at it, because the article
them all.
specifically says, there's a wine and malt, so, package store license, so it would specifically have to be under that one.
So does the town, granted it's by population, refresh my memory, it's getting old. It goes by population, how many licenses are given. Does it always, I don't remember it always having to be a petitioner that requests the license. Does the town ever request licenses to hold in place in anticipation of business coming?
From what I can recall, the one when we did the special legislation, where we did 5 new liquor licenses, 2 for out in Route 1 and 3 for the Central Business District, I believe the EDC sponsored that. And asked the selectmen to support it. So that's the one that most recently comes to mind. But the one for 555 Providence Highway, I remember Donnell came forward and asked for that for that property there. Yeah. So town has done it, but it's gone both ways.
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
And Ally? And then Jeff.
I was just going to make a comment that if Edmonds Market had the package license before for just, beer and wine license, there's precedence in the area to have the market there, sell the current market and owner sell it.
Thank you. Actually, is it related to her comment?
No.
Oh, then I got Jeff,
I
then
just
you.
had a question. The petitioner is Thomas Curran, but the owner is Eli Nicole?
That's me.
Okay.
I don't know if I was supposed to.
Just your relation?
No, I'm just customer.
Okay, customer.
Okay.
Perfect. Good. Thank you.
Okay, Susan,
Okay. Susan?
I support this. I supported the petitioner's request back in 2013 as well.
Thank you.
And I note that the legislature is considering turning this whole licensure business over to the towns, because this is apparently a relic back to 1933 as we came out of Prohibition. I live in East Walpole. I know this gentleman to be an upstanding proprietor, and I think that it would be a boon to East Walpole, and I support it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Larry?
I'm also a resident of East Walpole, and just to follow up on Andrew's comments, I don't believe they were alleged. Jim, maybe you can clarify that. They were selling pipes or whatever to underage people, I believe.
From what I recall.
Yeah.
That's not, it's not right at all, Mr. Lee. Last time you said same thing.
The police chief said, it, not me.
No, this is not right. This is not right. This is not right at all. We've been in the store for all 10 years. Only one thing happened. One time we saw somebody sold cigarette in the store, and pipes go every even still now every store. I'm the only one don't sell. I'm the only one.
Okay.
I'm the only one who don't sell. Go to I know every store sells. I'm the only one who don't sell those things. I'm the only one. Stores, all the kitchens, they sell it. I'm the only one who don't sell those things.
Yeah,
I never sell anything illegal.
Okay.
Can I just make a point to the comment?
Yeah.
I think Mr. Johnson indicated that incident was 14, 15 years ago?
That's what it
Right,
said
but
in the article.
You've been the store owner for 10.
Yes, sir.
It's also,
This wasn't,
yeah.
Under
this was
his
prior
ownership.
to you.
But the other thing too is,
Not under your
we're
management.
not here to award a license to an individual. We're looking to see, is there a need for a license in East Walpole for somebody to petition for? Larry?
Yeah. And when I was chair of BDC, I was, I believe, on the board when we asked for more liquor licenses. I'm aware of the need and the legislation or whatever, the vote that's going to be coming up in probably 2022, Andrew mentioned. I'm just telling you what, I can't support this. I was aware of the things going on. The former police chief reported things
Understood.
at that meeting.
I'm sorry, I need to say something.
No,
Can I say something, please? No? Sorry.
I'm gonna cut this off because we keep going back to
No,
issues about your establishment, and that's not what's on the table. It's, is there a need for a license in East Walpole, yes or no? Because you might not even get the license if it is awarded to the town to use. So we leave that to the Board of
A
Selectmen to make
question
that.
with regards to
process.
need. So I'm just noticing here, I'm not East Walpole, I live here in the center. East Walpole Package Store on Providence Highway. I don't know, are they close? I mean,
It's next to Town Fit Tire.
so it wouldn't really considered part of the neighbor. So this is like a neighborhood place you could go.
Next to
Their
two.
name is East Walpole, but they're on, okay, thank you.
Other questions, comments? Thank you. I'll entertain a motion.
I move favorable action on this article.
Susan
Second.
says favorable,
Second.
and seconded by Josette.
I think actually somebody will know.
I think it was,
Okay, Andrew.
Andrew
No
chimed in, okay.
everyone's fighting for
I can
second.
hear her quicker than there, so, okay, so Andrew is seconded. Got it. Okay. All in favor? Josette?
Yes.
Ally?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Susan?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Doug?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Larry?
No.
And I abstain.
Okay.
11-1-1. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's see, remaining items on tonight's agenda?
Mark, the only other item initially you were supposed to discuss was the planning board items.
Right.
The article, single article.
Yep.
They're having a meeting tonight, so the chair asked to delay it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And pushed it to the 27th. He confirmed that's the only item on the agenda, the 27th, so.
Did you get confirmation that the booklet can be sent to the printers on
Kelly
the 28th?
confirmed it's no problem if we do it on
Okay.
the 28th. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, so our schedule now is we're off until the 27th, which is a week from Monday. The planning board obviously is having their meeting tonight, but they'll have their public hearing after our meeting with them. We may or may not vote the article that night, depending on the feelings of this committee. If they do vote it, it'll end up in the booklet. If not, it'll be a recommendation at town meeting, and we'll end up voting immediately after our public hearing on the 19th.
And did you say that theirs is the 7th to
Yeah,
consider?
their meeting's the 7th if you want to watch the planning board public hearing on Article 16?
Yeah.
Okay.
What have a meeting the 19th?
Our public hearing for the town is October 19th, Tuesday.
October 19th,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
October 19th.
September 27th otherwise.
Yes.
What happened to the 20th and 23rd?
They were reserved if we needed them.
27th wasn't one of the reserved dates.
Right, but the thing is, the planning board is holding their meeting tonight. I wanted to give them an opportunity to get us their information before the meeting, and it didn't sound like that was gonna happen for next Monday. And I have a conflict on Thursday, so I just pushed it to the 27th. Unless there's people who have issues. They've already confirmed that they can be here on the 27th as our one appointment.
For what it's worth, I cannot be here on the 27th because that was an open night.
Okay.
I booked it.
And like I said, if we find that there's still too many questions and we want to wait for their public hearing, we can vote after their public hearing on the night of our public hearing.
Jim, is this the article for Katie?
Yes.
Regarding to the
rezone
fields.
the
Rezoning
South
it.
Walpole Community Athletic Complex.
It's not so much rezoning it, but reclassifying the
Yeah,
zoning?
from Parks Recreation to rural.
From rural to Parks and
From rural
Recreation,
Just to regress.
making it more restrictive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There being nothing else before us, I'll entertain a motion to, oh, Andrew?
Wait a minute.
I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, so I just want to thank Jim for sending those additional documents in our memo for tonight about the ambulance fund and Blackburn Hall. By the way, I'm just curious, why was that included, these historical documents about the Blackburn Hall fund?
It came up during discussion at the last meeting. Someone asked me about Blackburn Hall, so.
Restrictions on it.
Yeah, the deed restrictions.
At the middle school meeting? Okay, oh, the restrictions on it, I see.
Yeah.
So anyway, my main question is for the debt spreadsheet. I just want to reiterate what Larry had a good suggestion, I think in an email, which is just, could we get the debt spreadsheet as an Excel spreadsheet or a Google spreadsheet, not as a scanned PDF?
Yeah, that way we can blow it up and
But
manipulate it.
it's Jody and I, and she left, but we cherish this document.
Yes.
So we're giving it to you, I'll give it to you, but please,
Yeah.
once we hand it off, I don't know who's going to tweak it, where it's gonna be published. I know,
Yeah.
once it comes from here, we're comfortable with it, but whatever happens once it goes out,
Well,
I'm not comfortable.
send it edit protected, so all we can do is just open it and print it on bigger paper or whatever.
Just try to send us maybe that tab,
Yep.
and that way, and whatever it's linked to,
You know
everything
more
else,
about all of this stuff
we
than
can't
what I
mess
do,
with it.
so.
Just know the
that's why
formula,
it's-
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do it, sure.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I just
Yeah.
couldn't read it.
That's
Okay.
all. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
By Josette, seconded by Jeff. All in favor of adjourning? Josette,
Yes.
Ally,
Yes.
Andrew,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Jeff,
Yes.
Kathleen,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Doug,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
and myself. 13:00, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone. See you on the 27th.